Give me a quick 1, 2 with that, Mic check, 1, 2.
1, 3, 4.
Perfect. Good to go. Okay. Dave, just want to get this out of the way. Are you starting Mikko tonight?
Yeah, Mikko will play again. Played solid last night. Feels good this morning, so he'll go back again.
On the first day of training camp, when we talked to Mikko, he mentioned that he wanted to come to the rink and have a little bit more fun given what happened last year. Are you seeing that around the rink from him?
Yeah, it's just seems more comfortable. You know, I think having his family here and coming back, just a whole different atmosphere around the games. I mean, I think everybody is enjoying it a lot more with fans in the building, and he's come in and played very well right from the start of camp. He's played well and played well last night, so hopefully he'll continue that tonight.
Yesterday, the storylines, rightfully so, revolved around McDavid, Hyman, and Koskinen and net. But one guy that might have been overlooked and still had a 3-point night was Nugent Hopkins. How much does this organization benefit for having a guy like Nugent Hopkins here long term?
Well, you're probably right. It probably goes under the radar a lot of times, but he was really solid. Moved the puck very well in the power play. Was a big part of our penalty kill and assisted on Hyman's shorthanded goal. I mean, he's just a solid guy. As a coach, you love having a guy like that on your team because you look down the bench, we can put him in just about every situation, maybe other than goal, and he can handle it. So he was really good last night for us.
Connor last night was talking about getting back to sort of normal with a road trip, and part of that is back-to-backs with travel. I mean, do you like having something like this early in the season?
Yeah, it's good. Especially like you say, getting back to a normal travel where you feel like you go on the road. There's everything is semi-normal around, but the challenges of back-to-backs, it's almost as a player you like it because you're just, every day you're immersed in what you're doing, and especially when we feel like our team's trying to build and trying to keep going, pushing forward here after a pretty good start. So this will be a big game for us, a big test for us tonight. I think our guys are excited for it.
Someone who helped build an expansion franchise with Seattle, obviously Vegas has come in and been incredible. Yet right now it's a bit of a difficult time for them. They're missing players. Do you see this as potential opportunity to take advantage of a good club, but minus some of their top guns?
No, it's hard to win, and every team goes through injuries, but it's going to be a really competitive game. They're a good team. They've been a good team since the day they jumped in this league. So we expect a very tight, hard game tonight.
Had you considered, and you may not want to say, any other lineup changes, or would you stay with what you had last night?
No, we're considering a couple. We got a couple bumps and bruises there, so we'll see where it goes.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, she won last week.
Yeah. I see one of the BC guys that works for our radio network. He's a huge horse racing guy. Joey Kenward.
Okay, yeah.
And he tweets out a bunch of stuff, and he tweeted out a race recently, so we're able to use it.
All good, Trent?
All good.
All right. Ryan, just maybe take us through the experience of being back on the road and playing in the United States again.
Yeah, definitely been a little while. Obviously, it was a cool experience just having the Canadian division last year, but I think also it's nice to get back to the normalcy of coming to the States and traveling around and seeing a lot of different teams, a lot of different cities, and always cool to experience the different arenas too.
Ryan, this is your 11th year in the NHL, all with the Oilers. Would you say this is the deepest forward group that you've been a part of?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, we've seen contribution in different aspects from every line so far this year. So that's obviously how you want to start, and it gives us a lot of confidence to be able to just roll out 4 lines, and same thing on the back end, and same thing in net. I mean, obviously, I think this is just overall the deepest team that I've been a part of, so it makes a lot of fun to go play out there.
What's it been like for you? I think Dallas Eakins called you the NHL's best Swiss Army knife the other day. What kind of a compliment is that from an NHL head coach, including your own, speaks highly of you when it comes to doing, I think he just said you can do anything maybe but play goal. Is that something you just sort of developed through your career?
Yeah, well, I think it definitely is something that I worked on a lot when I was younger, came into the league, and took a lot of pride in building my game defensively and penalty kill, power play, different aspects of my game. So I want to be a guy that could be relied upon in any situation, and I know I still want to get better at all aspects of my game still here. So obviously I got to keep building, and but obviously it's nice when a former coach has positive things to say about you.
When you first started to switch sometimes from center to wing, can you take us back to maybe not challenging, but just transitioning? And now is it as seamless as possible? You're kind of set to go kind of whatever line and whatever position?
Yeah, I think at first I was a centerman for so long that at first it took a little bit getting used to. I think naturally I just kind of would come back and want to be the first guy low and have to kind of get called off a lot to get used to it. But I think now I've been back and forth a little bit, so I'm more comfortable switching on a game-to-game basis. I still think that there's aspects of my game playing wing that I can improve on. I think just because I've been a centerman for so long, pretty much my whole life, that it's easier for me to transition back to center. So when I get put on a wing, there's still some aspects that I want to keep working on. But I think the more I do it, obviously, the more comfortable you get and the more confidence you have.
Going back to your first answer to Gene here, you mentioned working on your defensive play. Offensively, when you're in practice, it's easy to work on that in terms of puck skills, shooting, whatever you're looking to work on. How does one work on their defensive game? Is there a lot of video work, communication with the coaches?
For sure. I think video, especially when I first came into the league, I think the video work was something that was really important, just kind of learning which position to be in, not kind of blowing the zone too early, always staying on the right side of the puck, usually the defensive side of the puck. And obviously you got to find that balance for offensive and defensive responsibility, but I think when I was younger, definitely the video went a long way.
I was just going to ask a little bit about, tonight's an important game. You guys have been off to a great start, but you haven't had a chance to do a little team building, over the weekend. What's your experience like with that, and how guys look forward to getting a chance to get to know each other, especially coming off what the last couple seasons have been like?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It's gonna be fun. I mean, obviously, quite a lot of new faces this year. I mean, we brought in some new guys even last year, and like you said, I mean, last year was a weird year because you couldn't really do that kind of stuff, couldn't really go for dinners, anything like that. So I think this will be good for us to get some time to spend with our teammates and get to know each other a little bit away from the rink as well. So I think that, I mean, obviously we got a big game tonight, and we want to keep this thing rolling and then get to enjoy ourselves a little bit after.
Last question for me, Ryan, about your goaltender. Koskins come in twice this week, but at the start of training camp, he mentioned he wanted to come into the season with a more relaxed mindset, having a little bit more fun given what happened last year. Are you noticing that from your teammates? Has he been a bit more light around the dressing room?
Yeah, well, I think so. I think he's always a competitive guy, so I think he puts a lot on himself, and I know it's not easy for a goalie to sit a few games and come in and be sharp right away. So I think last year and just the scenario and the situation, I mean, it was just a weird year. It was a difficult year, so, and I mean, we probably could have played better in front of him when he did come in. And I thought this year so far, I mean, he came in halfway through the game the other night, and he was sharp right away, and he was dialed in, and that's huge. I think he's like I said, he's a competitive guy. He wants to do the best for our team and for himself. So it's good to see him playing like he can for sure.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan. No problem. Appreciate that.